Hi everyone. I've been doing a lot of research recently in the form of listening to different seminars and lectures and YouTube videos while I work in the shop. Sort of preparing for something. I'm not even sure exactly what just yet, but just trying to avail myself of different information. I've been on a steady diet of bell hooks videos in the shop for about the last week and a half. I'm sure you'd probably be hard-pressed to find another automotive shop in North America where your friendly neighborhood mechanic is listening to bell hooks during the day while he's working on your car. In any case, this is for sort of research purposes and, equal rights stuff and feminism stuff. And with the Ferguson grand jury trial decision recently, I've been listening to some other things. One in particular is I've been listening to a few shows on Underground Railroad Radio. And so, as you can imagine, this is sort of a black cultural radio program where they interview different people. And some of it's quite interesting. One thing I do find interesting, and this is sort of relating to the work that I want to do, the videos that I want to do down the road here, is this whole discussion of culture. I've said in many videos past, probably over a year ago, that I think culture is largely bullshit, and that there are a lot of things that we associate with human nature that are actually cultural, and I think it's important to make those distinctions. And bell hooks sort of makes this point quite often about culture and how it's largely bullshit, and I would agree with her on that point. Unfortunately, she doesn't agree with herself. And I mean, I guess to expand upon it for myself, I would just say that, culture doesn't have automatic virtue just because it's sort of historically, the way we've done things, or that it's got some historical relevance to a particular group of people, that, culture should be viewed philosophically, and any parts of culture that actually harm people should probably be rejected, and we should improve on things where we can. This whole idea that cultural studies or just culture itself has some sort of automatic virtue, I think is ridiculous. Now, as I mentioned, bell hooks doesn't agree with herself, and that is to say that in a lot of these videos that I've watched, and seminars and lectures and discussion panels and things like that, they'll talk about society's preconceptions and cultural norms and these sort of things, cultural stereotypes, as being negative, and they'll identify them as such. Of course, where it harms the group that's talking, whether it be a group of women, a feminist talking, or a group of black people talking, or a group of black women talking. But there's also an adoration of culture on their own side of the fence, right? There doesn't seem to be nearly so much of an analytical viewpoint towards culture that they feel cozy with, right? So I find that kind of interesting. Anyway, none of this is what I wanted to talk about today. I was listening to Underground Railroad Radio today, and I heard an interesting discussion on the topic of porn.
Now, porn also increases the masturbation rate in this country 1,000-fold because it's fantasy mixed with reality. So you're in the fantasy world watching something, but it has physical ramifications on you if you then act out a physical real act and let your energy go. Now, when you let your energy go through your sperm, you are giving birth each and every time you do so. This is how the masters taught me about this, the elders.
Well, so there you have it, giving birth when you let your energy go. It's kind of interesting. He's going to get into a little bit of a discussion of energy, a little bit more about energy. And I find this kind of almost reminiscent of this idea that giving away energy is similar to what a lot of feminists talk about when they discuss this. They sort of rail against this notion that when a girl or a woman loses her virginity, that she's physically different somehow, and that she's less of a person. And of course, the thing is, physically and experientially, yes, she is different. That's a fact. I would agree, of course, that it doesn't make her any less of a person. It doesn't detract from her as a human being any more than, than a lot of other physical changes that can happen to our body or experiences that we can have. But let's find out a little bit more about this this energy.
So even if you don't give a physical birth, you're giving birth to something on the astral realm and higher realms that, just like you give a birth to a physical baby, that baby needs to be fed, that baby needs to be nurtured, that baby needs to be cared for. So all of them astral babies that motherfuckers is letting loose on, even in the clubs doing the wild thing with the condoms on, right? That's not making a connection to its target. You got a whole bunch of entities and babies on a whole nother plane that is following your ass around like a dark cloud. This is why your ass can't get nothing done.
So there you have it, astral babies. I was trying to think of what to say about this. It pretty much speaks for itself. So I don't know. Is there astral child support? Is there paternity suits? I don't know. Anyway, let's listen a little further.
You know what I mean? So the porn industry is used for those who know how to enter into the astral realm and take all of that energy that's readily available like a damn Energizer bunny and use it to their benefit without you even knowing and understanding that you're participating in some devious shit that's making them stronger than you.
Yeah, or that's even beyond our ability to empirically verify, right? I mean, lots of talk here. I could be listening to any one of a number of different woo-woo, religious, whatever, right? It's all talking about energy, and it's always on some other level that you can't get to, right? I guess it's probably for a good thing that all these astral babies are on a different plane that you can't get to from here nor verify, because at least, they may be following you around like a dark cloud, but, at least they're not garnishing your wages.
So, porn has its place for those who are looking for an unwanted energy source. It's like a damn gold mine up there if you can access the astral realm, because all they do is let that porn go, and now see you got the porn. It's so readily available that it's generating a lot of energy. Is what I'm trying to say.
So I'm sure you can see by now why I simply had to share this with all of you. It was good comic relief in what can sometimes be some rather boring listening and some frustrating listening, and other times intense listening. There are a lot of videos that I've had to listen to several times to get my mind around a concept and whatnot. But this one I had to listen to several times, basically until I stopped laughing. Let's see if he's got any advice for what we possibly should be doing.
And if you're not generating the energy for your own use, so if you're not masturbating and at the time of ejaculation, you are, placing that energy on a target, whether physical or astral, then somebody else is.
Okay, so I think I get it now. No more porn. Instead, target practice. I don't know about the astral target practice. I'm not sure how to do that. Might have to save up for a few days for that one. Anyway, he's got one more piece of advice for anyone who doesn't like what he has to say.
So whoever don't like that answer, whatever.